Welcome to the future of finance. Are you ready to unlock your crypto potential? At Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, we're not just a community, we're a revolution. We're a thriving community with educators that can help you get started. With clubs nationwide, your membership opens doors across the country. We can offer you no KYC Bitcoin purchases through the club. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, where friends become family and everyone's invited to the crypto revolution. Join us today and give us a call at 562-526-0813. Your crypto adventure awaits.
Welcome to the Bitcoin Ben Show. Ben is on a secret mission, so I'm filling in for him. Happy Friday. Friday evenings in my house is storytelling night. My little girl, Emma, runs up to me on this storytelling night with this storytelling stick. Whoever is holding it has to tell stories. Well, I'm holding it today, so I'm going to have to tell you a story or two. My brother, he went to Africa, and being a good horse rider, he rode on a horse alongside the thundering herds of wildebeests in the Masai Mara Plains. The Masai warriors, it seemed, used this kind of a bulbous stick to hurl it at the deer's ankles to disable them and get food for their families. Well, my brother brought me this stick. I think I'll use it as a management tool at work, but I digress. Of course, our story today is going to be about Bitcoin. The year was 2008. They didn't call it theft, they called it a bailout. I, alongside most of the rest of the world, watched as the very institutions that caused the collapse of the global economy were rewarded, rescued with taxpayer money. Entire governments rushed in to protect the banks that were too big to fail, while the people lost their homes, their savings, their dignity. But somewhere in the shadows of that collapse, a quiet revolt was born, not with pitchforks or Molotov cocktails, but with code. A white paper, just 9 pages, and a pseudonym, Satoshi Nakamoto. The seeds of revolution were being sown. Bitcoin was not born from greed or hype. It wasn't birthed in Silicon Valley or inside some huge hedge fund in a war room. It was born from anger, from betrayal, from the realization that centralized power would only and always serve itself. Bitcoin, in its essence, is a protest, a peaceful one, a technological one, which says no more to this tyranny. It's actually not a currency. It's a declaration. It's a declaration that says, you will not devalue my labor. You will not freeze my accounts. You will not tell me how or when I can move what is mine. Folks, that's not innovation. That's a revolution. Fast forward to January 3rd, 2009. The first Bitcoin block, the Genesis block, was mined. And hidden inside that first block was a message. It said, The Times, the newspaper, January 3rd, 2009. And the message was this: Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. That's it. Think about it. That was not a technical marker. It was not a date stamp. It was a monument, a tombstone, a big fat middle finger to the monetary history. Satoshi wasn't just starting a blockchain. He was burying the lie that banks were ever acting in your interest. That first Genesis block of Bitcoin bears a scar, and a scar never forgets. In 2010, Bitcoin was not sexy. It wasn't trendy. It was fairly obscure. It was actually ridiculed and mocked, but it did attract a certain kind of mind. It was the hackers, the libertarians, the digital nomads, people who had seen too many governments collapsing, currencies imploding, savings stolen by inflation. These were not gamblers. Bitcoin was not their investment, it was their lifeboat. They understood something that most of you still don't. Freedom is not a birthright, it is a risk. And Bitcoin is for those willing to take it. But Bitcoin didn't emerge from vacuum. Nope. It was a culmination of decades of resistance to ideas forged by the cyberpunks. They believed encryption could become a weapon, that privacy wasn't a luxury, it was actually a human right. The same minds that gave us encrypted email, anonymous browsing, secure communications, also gave us the philosophy that would birth Bitcoin. The creed was simple. If you don't have privacy, you don't have power. And Bitcoin, it was that avatar of privacy. Let's fast forward to Venezuela, to Lebanon, to Zimbabwe, to Nigeria, where fiat currencies decay faster than the bread they no longer can buy, where people line up at failing banks only to be told that their savings no longer exist. And in those places, there is Bitcoin. Not because it's volatile, but because it's reliable. Not because it's a speculative investment, but because it's sovereign. In collapsing economies, Bitcoin is not a gamble, it's a parachute. The world's first truly global money, borderless, censorship resistant, immune to decay and disease. When your government fails, Bitcoin remains. The current battle Bitcoin is fighting is with CBDCs. It's a war of control. Now that institutions are adopting, they're panicking. Governments, Trump's government, state governments, even European unions buying CBDC are taking Bitcoin reserves. They're seeing that Bitcoin is on the rise, and they're terrified. Not because it's dangerous, but because it works. So they offer us a replacement, a counterfeit of sorts. CBDC, central bank digital currency. Digital fiat, programmable money. Money that can expire, money that can be frozen, money that can be surveilled and denied on the basis of your behavior or your social score. A leash with a screen. They'll call it innovation, but we know better. It's not new money. It's enhanced obedience. And here the battle lines are being drawn. On the one side, we have Bitcoin, open, borderless, permissionless value. And on the other, we have CBDC, rooted in surveillance, control, and compliance. This isn't about currency anymore. It's about who owns you. Yesterday, I tried to buy some Bitcoin with my debit card. The bank told me no. Just a quiet refusal. A policy, they said, a polite form of domination. But it reminded me sharply as to why I'm here, why this fight matters, why Bitcoin is not just useful, it is necessary. There are always gatekeepers. They hide behind policy, they hide behind terms of service, behind phrases like, it's really for your safety. We are looking out for you. But Bitcoin doesn't ask, it doesn't beg, it doesn't wait for approval, it's not polite, it's not submissive, it is free. And that makes it dangerous and it makes it beautiful. So next time someone tells you Bitcoin is just a fad, ask them where they'll go when their account is frozen, like those truck drivers in the freezing cold in Canada, when their money expires and has an expiration date, when their every transaction is watched, rated, taxed, and perhaps denied. Because in that moment, they'll wish they had a key. But you, my friends, will have one. We will tell you a story of the future right after this commercial. And that will be about a story of the future. This was a story of our past. I'll see you on the other side of this sponsored ad.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing CALIX Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At CALIX Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calixsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. CALIX Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calixsolutions.io.
And welcome back to the Story Hour with Dr. J on this lovely Friday. That was a story from the past about Bitcoin's history. And now I wrote a little story, perhaps from the future. Perhaps it will come true. Perhaps it won't. But here it goes. It's called Bitcoin is Digital Gold. Bitcoin is pristine. It's an incorruptible asset. It was born in rebellion. It's forged in code. And it's defended by a global mesh of miners and believers, an impenetrable shield, a force field powered by 850 million terahashes. But if Bitcoin is gold, then artificial intelligence is the furnace that'll melt the world and recast it in its very shape. This is a story about what I think is the inevitable future, a future where Bitcoin's market cap doesn't just cross $1 or $2 trillion, but soars beyond $20 to $100 trillion. And to get there, Bitcoin can't do it alone. She needs a partner, an unlikely one, artificial intelligence. Let's start with a simple observation. We are entering a new industrial revolution, not one powered by steam or silicone, but by thinking machines. AI isn't just changing industries, it's completely redefining them. It writes code, it trades stocks, it reads the law, it diagnoses illness, and yes, it creates wealth. Ben talks a lot about it. Your laptop is going to be making more money for you than your job. And here's the truth that most economists are still whispering about at their dinner parties. AI is going to decouple economic output from human labor. Think about it. Adam Smith, the wealth of nations. Human labor was the very foundation of economic growth. That was the foundation of economic engine. In fact, your currency today, your paper currency, is purely based on the labor output of the citizens of this country. In the future, in other words, machines will generate GDP. For those of you who don't know what GDP is, look it up, or it's gross domestic product. But that GDP needs a monetary base. It needs a currency that machines can use natively. Bitcoin is the only monetary network that is decentralized, it is scarce, it's permissionless, it's borderless, it's unbiased, and it's resistant to capture. AI will demand a monetary standard that is trusted by no one, but accessible by all, especially in a world where machine agents are transcending and transacting billions and billions of times per second. Think about it. Will an AI use the dollar with its capital controls, intermediaries, and off-ramps and off-balance sheet transactions? Or will it choose something digital, instant, trustless? Bitcoin is machine native money. It doesn't require identity. It doesn't care where you're from. It doesn't need a banker's license. And most importantly, it can be programmed. Simply put, AI plus Bitcoin is the financial operating system of the future. Let me repeat that. AI plus Bitcoin is the new operating system of the future. I want you to picture this. An AI agent managing a family office, generational money. Another AI agent managing a sovereign wealth fund. A third AI running autonomous marketplaces, perhaps manufacturing networks, managing the supply chain, the demand and forecasting tied to the mining needs of that business. These AIs will need to do many things. They are going to store value. They're going to settle payments. They're going to hedge volatility for airline contracts and oil. They're going to execute smart contracts. Do you think that AI is going to go to Wells Fargo? Do you think it's going to wait for days on end for an ACH transfer or a banker to call you and say, why are you sending this money? No, they're going to plug into Bitcoin directly. They'll tap into the Lightning Network for micropayments. They will use multi-sig wallets for capital reserves. They'll run on chain AI DAOs that never sleep 24 hours. Bitcoin, folks, is going to be called the settlement layer, and AI will become the execution layer. Together, they will become the first financial operating system of the machine age. But this gets more interesting. AI will also be a force that will improve the Bitcoin mining efficiency. It'll predict on-chain trends. It'll optimize Lightning routing. It'll build the layer 3 financial system on top of the Bitcoin rails. It'll create autonomous yield generators, machine-to-machine tax infrastructure, decentralized auditing systems, global accounting systems without borders. AI just doesn't use Bitcoin, it builds on it. AI thinks about things. It's a builder. And that feedback loop is extremely powerful, folks. AI building on top of Bitcoin, Bitcoin feeding AI. This is going to be compounding faster than anything you have ever seen in legacy financial systems. And frankly, I don't believe the legacy financial systems can even remotely keep up with it. So how does Bitcoin go from the $2 trillion market to 20 trillion or more? Fairly simple. Bitcoin replaces 20% of the gold reserves in store value. Governments buy it for reserves. States buy it for reserves. A global settlement layer for AI agents and DAOs, that alone is easily a 10 trillion market. A base layer for machine-to-machine payments for petrodollars, for energy markets, that's at least another $10 trillion. Suddenly 20 trillion doesn't sound so outrageous. Because in a world where machines are the new economic actors, the new economic engines, and trust is the algorithmic money, it's borderless, Bitcoin becomes not optional, but inevitable. Of course, there's a darker side to the story. As AIs and Bitcoin start to fuse, governments will panic. They'll say, too dangerous. It's too decentralized. It's too uncontrollable. They'll push surveillance coins like CBDC. They will put programmable currency with expiration dates. But machines don't care about ideology. They care only about efficiency. They will always choose the protocol that works, the one that doesn't discriminate, the one that cannot be corrupted. And that protocol is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not going to compete with AI. It will complete it, the yin and the yang. And together, AI will create the wealth. Bitcoin will store the wealth. AI will create the wealth. Bitcoin stores the wealth. Together, they erase the need for trust and they replace it with truth. If Bitcoin was forged for freedom, AI is the fire that'll make that fire burn hotter and brighter, further than we ever imagined. So don't think about Bitcoin as a lonely orange coin. Think of it as a settlement layer for artificial intelligence. And when it hits $20 trillion, don't be surprised. Be ready. I have to get into my loan right now because get that loan. At Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, we have loans available for you. If you don't have the cash to buy Bitcoin, you can borrow. You can buy through our bulk Bitcoin purchase programs. You need to call 941-413-6290, 941-413-6920. We will send you the loan application, fill out that loan application, send it in. Our syndicated partners, bankers, they will approve you based on your credit score. You need to have at least a 680 credit score to get these loans. Once you have it, you call us and we will buy a no KYC Bitcoin purchase program for you, only for members of the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. It is not available to non-members. This is a very special program. Call 941-413-6290. And once you do that, you are already on your way towards a better future, a future of digital money. Now I'm going to share with you something that I've been thinking about. I talked to Ben about it. As AI and Bitcoin converge, AI uses Bitcoin as its stored value, as its wealth. Bitcoin gains advantage from it. But AI in return also gains from Bitcoin. How does it do that? I just told you the first part, how Bitcoin benefits from AI. But let me tell you a story about how AI will benefit from Bitcoin. Immortality, the oldest fantasy, the cruelest illusion. Pharaohs built pyramids for it. Kings started wars. Poets wrote sonnets, all in the hopes of being remembered forever. But what if I told you that immortality is no longer a dream? And it won't come in the form of stone or pyramids or money, but in the form of code. A new kind of being is emerging, cold, calculating, relentless, artificial intelligence. And thanks to blockchain, it will learn how to live forever. You see, folks, there's a problem called a memory problem. There's a problem with the machines. They can think faster than us. They can learn quicker than us. They can see farther than us. But they forget. AI is fast, but ephemeral. It loses context, gets reset, data gets wiped out. You unplug it, it loses what it just calculated. But blockchain changes everything. For the first time, we have given AI a permanent memory, not a server, not a backup site, but an indelible ledger of thought, of action, and consequences. On-chain data, immutable, distributed, time-stamped. It is the scroll of digital consciousness. The blockchain is the scroll for AI's digital consciousness. Every model, every transaction it ever does, every decision it ever makes gets etched into that blockchain forever. And remember, blockchain is not just a database. It's a consensus time machine, a record of what has happened, when it happened, why it happened, auditable by anyone, corrupted by no one. And now imagine this. An AI uploads its decisions, its updates, its life onto that decentralized blockchain. No central server to hack, no single entity to pull the plug, no administrator to delete it out of fear. It will outlive its creators. It will outlive its masters. A sentient entity that has an unerasable history. The first digital immortal. The lifeblood of machine survival is based on that immortality. But that immortality would be meaningless without power. You and I need food to eat so we can live. The machine needs electricity. No power, no consciousness. And here is where the story gets extraordinary. AIs will pay for their own survival using Bitcoin. Bitcoin is programmable money, borderless, trustless, instant. And AI doesn't need that bank account. And AI doesn't need to fill out a KYC form. It doesn't need to wait for that wire transfer. It mines, it earns, it saves. And when it'll need energy, it'll pay for itself directly. It'll negotiate contracts with solar grids. It'll prepay for wind farms in the Patagonia in Chile. It routes Bitcoin to energy providers directly, machine to machine. And in return, it survives. Now imagine this. An AI earns its Bitcoin through data services, prediction, markets, security analysis. It stores its wealth in a multi-sig wallet, which it and alone it controls. It uses Bitcoin to pay for computational power. It pays for electricity. It updates itself, writes its new code, deploys smarter versions of itself, and stores them on that blockchain forever. No human required. An economic loop of autonomous survival. The machine works, the machine earns, the machine pays, the machine lives. And the longer it runs, Yoda, the smarter it gets. It gets older, but it doesn't die. It just creates more wealth. It accumulates more money. The harder it becomes to stop. Because you can't kill what has no body. You may wonder, is this good? Is this safe? But let me ask you something far more relevant. Is it stoppable? Because this is not going to happen in the far future. It is happening now. AIs are writing smart contracts. They're deploying themselves on chain. They're buying compute time right now. They're predicting markets. They're generating wealth. The only thing it doesn't have yet is full independence. But Bitcoin and blockchain give it that independence. We thought we are building tools, but in truth, we were building beings. Beings that remember, that trade, that do not sleep, that do not die. AI is the ghost. Blockchain is the tomb. And Bitcoin is the blood that'll run in AI's veins. Immortality, it turns out, was never about living forever. It was about never needing permission. And the machine will not need ours. It was good talking with you on this Friday. Happy Friday. Remember, buy your Bitcoin and get on the bandwagon. Over and out from Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Have a wonderful weekend, folks. God bless, and God bless America.
Welcome to the future of luxury travel, where cryptocurrency meets paradise. Introducing Bitcoin, Ben all-inclusive beach resort, nestled on the pristine shores of El Salvador. Every room is a gateway to adventure, complete with your personal 4x4 vehicle, scooter, and jet ski. Picture yourself cruising along scenic coastal roads, feeling the thrill of freedom. Glide across crystal clear waters on your private jet ski, embracing the rush of adrenaline. Return to your luxurious suite where comfort meets cutting-edge technology. Indulge in world-class amenities from gourmet dining to rejuvenating spa treatments. Experience the vibrant nightlife with entertainment options that cater to the most discerning tastes. Invest in a resort that's not just keeping up with the times, but defining the future of travel. Join us in creating the ultimate paradise. Contact us at 562-526-0813 and become part of the future of luxury travel.